Yo, what's up guys, it's King Sean here, and in today's video, I will be talking about whether or not the Commanders got a steal in the second round in cornerback Mikey Sainristil. He's been balling out lately, so we're going to be talking about him in today's video. Also, I'll be talking about Dan Quinn's press conference he just had a minute ago. He gave us an injury update on Marshon Lattimore, and he gave us an answer on whether or not Jayden is healthy or if he's not actually 100% healthy. So, if you guys are new to my channel, leave a like down below, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And other than that, let's get straight into today's video. So we're going to talk about Mikey Sainristil first. He had an excellent game versus the Eagles, one of our bright spots of that disappointing loss to the Eagles on Thursday Night Football last week. He had a 90.0 coverage grade, 3 forced incompletions, and he had an overall PFF grade of 89. So that is really good out of Mikey Sainristil right there. He's technically playing out of position too. He's playing on the outside, and I mean the reason for that is pretty obvious. We just don't have the cornerback depth right now. We would have hoped that we would have gotten Marshon Lattimore back a little bit sooner, but looks like he's going to be out for a little bit longer. But Mikey Sainristil, man, he's gotten better and better each and every week. Early on in the season, like weeks 1 through 3, he was struggling, and I was not worried about him. I saw a lot of fans on social media a little worried on him or a little worried about him because he was pretty much getting cooked in coverage a lot in the slot. But then they made the transition to him on the outside. They had him take some snaps on the outside starting in the Bengals game, and then from there on out, he's really been playing on the outside. And since the Bengals game, I mean, he made a really nice tackle for loss versus the Bengals, forced an incompletion. Since I want to say really the Cardinals game, he's been playing really good ball. He has an interception on the season. He also has 8 pass deflections on the season. And he's just been really good, man. Like, he's been really good over the past couple weeks, really. Versus the Eagles on Thursday night, he had that beautiful pass deflection or pass breakup on Devontae Smith, man. That was textbook coverage right there. You turn your head around, try and get your eyes on the ball, and try to make a play on the ball, man. That was textbook coverage right there. We haven't seen a cornerback do that in a minute. I mean, Benjamin St-Juste, he don't even do that, right? So, you know, it's really nice to see Mikey Sainristil playing well. He had good coverage on Jahan Dotson. I mean, that second pass to Jahan Dotson they tried, Mikey Sainristil broke that right up. Jahan dropped it, and it was all because of Mike Sainristil. He was right there. And then versus A.J. Brown, he was on A.J. Brown for a good chunk of the game, and I thought he did really well versus A.J. Brown. I think he only gave up like 2 catches on 3 targets for about 32 yards. A 5'9" guy working against A.J. Brown, who is 6'1", and is like 220, 230 pounds, and did that good against him. That's really incredible, Mikey Sainristil, man. It really is. So I'm really glad to see Mikey Sainristil's development going really well. At this point, really, do you want to move him back into the slot once Marshon Lattimore comes back? In my opinion, no. Like, Mikey Sainristil, he's done a really nice job on the outside. He has developed nicely on the outside. He's a physical tackler. Although he's 5'9", although he's small, he's going to get in your face, make a tackle. He's done a really good job covering on the outside. Once Marshon Lattimore comes back, I want Mikey Sainristil opposite from him, and I want Noah Igbenogany in the slot. Come offseason, you know, when you sign a cornerback or two, draft a cornerback or two, you can figure out what to do with Mikey Sainristil if you want to leave him on the outside or leave him in the slot, whatever you want to do. But for at least the remainder of the season, I want Mikey Sainristil on the outside because he's been playing really good ball on the outside. I don't want Benjamin St-Juste across from Marshon Lattimore because Benjamin St-Juste is really the biggest weak link of our secondary. He really is, because our secondary, we're like 5th or 6th in pass defense, which is really good, and that's no fluke. However, Benjamin St-Juste, he is weighing our secondary down a good amount, and once Marshon Lattimore comes back, I really want it to be him and Mikey Sainristil on the outside with Noah Igbenogany in the slot. So once again with Mikey Sainristil, man, he's been playing great ball. What an amazing pick by Adam Peters in the second round, traded down to get him at pick number 50. A lot of fans kind of question why we traded down with the Eagles, but I feel like it was worth it for a guy like Mikey Sainristil. Ben Sinnen, I wish, he got more opportunities, and he still could. Like, there's 6 games left in the season, so he still could get more opportunities, so hopefully we do see him get more. But Mikey Sainristil, man, he has been looking like a great pick for us so far. All right, now moving on to Dan Quinn's press conference. Going to be talking about 2 things he said, or mentioned. Number 1, Jayden Daniels. Is he injured still? Is he not? And then Marshon Lattimore injury update. Let's start with Jayden Daniels. So Quinn said Jayden Daniels is not injured. He did say, however, the loss of practice time when he was first recovering impacted the rhythm and timing of the pass game. So Quinn says he's not injured, and a lot of fans after the Eagles game, really after the Steelers game, were kind of debating whether or not Jayden is actually injured because his throwing mechanics have looked a little bit off, especially versus the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. He has been speeding up his reads, his processing, and that could be because of the ribs injury. Now, there's 2 ways you can look at this. Number 1, Dan Quinn's telling the truth, right? And, this staff, this regime, Dan Quinn, Adam Peters, Josh Harris, everyone, they've been telling the truth since the first day they've gotten here. So I really have no reason to not believe Dan Quinn. However, you could not believe in him, right? Because you could look at it like this. If Jayden really is healthy, then why is he getting a heat pad or a pad wrapped around his ribs every time our offensive drive is over, right? So you could look at it that way. I'm not saying I am looking at it that way, but a fan could look at it that way. A person could look at it that way, whatever. You could look at it that way, and you could start to question, okay, is Jayden not 100% healthy? Is he still hurt? What's going on, right? And I understand why fans kind of question it after Thursday night's game because we've never seen Jayden like dirt a ball that many times before. We've never seen Jayden look that inaccurate before, right? So I can understand from a fan's perspective why you may be questioning if Jayden is actually 100% healthy or not. For me, I'm just going to trust DQ. Jayden himself said he's good. If he wasn't, then AP, DQ, the coaching staff, they wouldn't put him out there on the field, right? But I can understand it from a fan's perspective where they think Jayden is still injured. So this week versus Dallas is huge. I think this is a great opportunity to bounce back after a very disappointing performance and loss versus the Eagles on Thursday night. So if Jayden says he's healthy, if DQ says Jayden's healthy, then he's probably healthy. However, there may be a chance that he's not actually 100% healthy and they could be not telling us the whole truth behind his injury. And then real quick with Marshon Lattimore, DQ gave us an update. Not going to spend too much time on his injury because we already know what it is at this point. He basically said the same thing. Well, actually some new news today actually. DQ does hope that Lattimore practices this week or later this week. So he's hopeful of that. And I feel like he will practice this week. Will he play? I'm not sure. Last week I predicted that, okay, he's going to miss the Steelers game, going to miss the Eagles game. He'll have that 10-day period. He'll probably come back against Dallas, right? Now, I'm really not sure, right? Because, we played Dallas next week. Well, this week. We played Tennessee the week after. Then we have our bye week. They might wait until after the bye week to play him. And I would not be mad at that because he's dealing with a hamstring injury. And DQ said in his press conference today that, soft tissue injuries like hamstring injuries are very tricky to deal with, to handle. So they have to be a little bit careful with that, right? Very cautious with it. That's why, they don't want to rush him. However, they are hopeful that he will practice later this week. And I think he will, but will he play? I'm not sure. Right now, I'll say he won't play. And I think he's going to come back either versus the Titans in week 13 or after our bye week. And after our bye week is week 15. Our bye week is week 14. Then we come back week 15 and play the Saints. So his debut in Washington could be a revenge game versus his former team, the team that traded him weeks ago, the Saints. So, we'll see with Lattimore. Hopefully he can come back soon because obviously we're going to need him. And, I know fans are probably going to be mad if he doesn't play this week. I won't be too mad because obviously he helps us now, but also he's going to help us in the long-term run as well. Don't forget that we have Marshon Lattimore for 2 more years after this year. So we're going to have him for at least 2 more years. he's going to help us for our foreseeable future at the very least, right? So I'm not too mad at them, wanting to be cautious with him. Hamstring injuries are tricky. Don't want him to re-aggravate it. That's what the Saints did. They rushed him back, and he re-aggravated his injury. So not mad at them, wanting to be cautious with it, wanting to, be careful with the injury, and want to make sure that he's playing like himself and he's 100% good to go. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And other than that, it's been King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.